So what is level confusion? Well, level confusion is the mislinking of cause and effect. 1 and 1 equals 2. But I hear you cry, 1 and 1 does equal 2. Well, we're talking about looking at a thought system to see if it results in happiness for you. Does this equal happiness? If it does not equal happiness for you, it's worth considering, it's worth questioning, and it's worth taking another look. So even though we have a world of Newtonian mathematics that can tell us that 1 and 1 always equals 2, I'm going for a quantum leap of trust and faith here and asking you just to question the link in your mind that presumes everything is so. Very much of what you believe and think and desire and experience in this world is solely based on hearsay. It's completely based on a belief in your mind that you have invented. Yes, you have invented. It doesn't matter whether it's an absorbed belief from the seeming outside world, whether it's an inherent belief that you seem to have arrived with, like Kierkegaard would say, how do we know what we know? Or whether you seem to have learned it or discovered it for yourself through your own experience. No matter what the source of this seeming belief, what I'm asking you to do today is simply question the link between the cause and the effect in the story. So here we go. The short version is that level confusion is simply wrong-mindedness. In the course, it talks about right-minded and wrong-minded. These are both contained within the deceived mind. So you're either wrong-minded, you're in a thought system of fear, or you're right-minded and you're in a thought system of love. So as you can see, 1 is happy and 1 is not, because 1 is fearful and afraid, so that's definitely not happy. So all we want to do is come back for a moment to the practical application of this. The truth is that nothing that happens in the seeming world causes you to feel anything at all. Now this may seem like a leap, but in this willingness for a moment to suspend judgment, to suspend understanding, to suspend learning, and simply question the causation that you have no control over how you feel, that you're a victim of this world, that you're totally at its whim, allows you to come back to an open-minded state where anything is possible. Now, this is how all great breakthroughs in science and technology have occurred, so you can just relax your Newtonian mind for a moment and don't worry about this quantum leap. It's safe. It's okay to open your mind at this point. You can totally disregard it if you don't like what you find, but there's no harm in opening your mind. So, if nothing outside of me is causative for how I feel, and I'm completely responsible for how I feel, as in, I decided, then I'm free. I'm free. Yes, we can get into the particulars. Did the fact that I never had cheese and milk growing up cause a calcium deficiency that now I have brittle bones? Did the fact that I never took exercise cause me to get fat and have a heart condition? We can go into that level, or you can see it's even simpler than that. You can see that the belief is, I would like to feel a victim of the world because I feel safer, because I can say it's not my fault. Level confusion is needing to keep the excuse that it's not my fault. It's not my fault, when nobody was blaming you in the first place. So what we have to question in order to be able to even approach, get courageous enough to question all these deeply held beliefs we have about life and how things work and how things are, is first and foremost to find out that no matter what you discover, there will be no blame. Because really, cause and effect is a way to hide guilt and shame. And the reason we never want to question these things, and the reason we try so hard to be good every day and keep up with all the latest science and advancements in food and health, is to stay one step ahead of the curve of it being our fault. That we become sick, that our life is unhappy, that things are wrong around us. And here we go. I'm saying you are responsible for your state of mind, and that will allow you to one day experience yourself as happy if you want, right this moment if you'd really like. But it's not your fault. There's no fault here. I'm talking about a thought system, a right-minded thought system, not a wrong-minded thought system of fear, one of love, which allows everyone to come back to a state of innocence. So what you're looking to find is a faultless answer. That's why false cause and effect won't help you. Momentarily, it will give you the relief that you're doing something on a daily basis that's at least right. You think it's right and correct, and that will make you feel safe. But long term, it won't make you feel safe if you don't begin to question it. Now, what's the answer to that? Because this is a whole world of seeming multiple options. Well, the answer is guidance. You want to come back into a system of guidance where you make one decision every day. You don't decide, is this right or is this wrong? You choose a right-minded thought system and you follow the guidance for that day as that guide, in this case the Holy Spirit, if you're a Course in Miracles teacher, Course in Miracles student, guides you. Now, why is this important? Because the strain of trying to get things right is all based on the defense of that guilt, that terror that we will be blamed and that it will be our fault if something happens to us. It will be our fault. So that's the guarding that people have on their thought system, is the fear that if they open it up, expose its underpinnings and take a really good look at it, their whole life and whole world will fall apart. Yes, your whole life will shift, but it will shift into a happy dream, into a happy experience, if you're willing to question these basic tenets under which it's pinned. So, linking of cause and effect. I'm eating a bowl of ice cream. I'm eating a bowl of ice cream. I feel so happy. I've made a link for most people between eating the bowl of ice cream and being happy. And so then I begin to think that if I don't have a bowl of ice cream, if the fridge is empty when I go there, then I am sad. So it's the linking of the happiness with the activity that needs to be questioned. I know you thought I was going to go into what you would appear to be negative ideas first of all, but let's go straight for undoing the good. Always works the best. So if you can enjoy every single bowl of ice cream, but know that if you're happy, it's because you gave yourself permission to be happy in that moment. It's not because there's ice cream in the bowl. It's not because there's even a bowl. It's just because you gave yourself permission to be happy. And I love sitting there with my ice cream, totally enjoying it, and then acknowledging that I'm simply happy because I decided to be happy, not because of any false cause in the world. And if you can do it with something as simple as ice cream, just imagine the practical application. I am not upset because my back is broken. I'm just upset. If you allow yourself to feel whatever you're feeling in your world, whatever you're experiencing, no matter what it seems to be based on, and you allow yourself to come to an experience of healing with that experience of distress, being relieved, then anything is possible for you. That's what forgiveness is, a seeing of the world differently, a seeing of yourself differently. We have an identity crisis, but we must start somewhere. And starting with a bowl of ice cream, or the next time you feel a little smart of some kind, like a paper cut, and you feel aggravated and angry or frustrated, acknowledging that the anger and the frustration is not coming from the paper cut any more than the joy is coming from the ice cream, will start to free you up to live an entirely different life. It will be a different experience for you, and it can be instantaneous if you allow it. And so I have a wonderful tool that you can use for this. It's called levelsofmind.com. And when you go on there, then you can just trace this the whole way back. You can just trace it back from the initial perception, the feeling and response to what you thought you saw, the thoughts you have about that, the beliefs that you find based on those thoughts, and then the desire that you notice there, that things be different very often from how they are. So, here you go. Lesson 101, delinking false cause and effect. Delink, delink, delink. And it will be delightful, delightful, delightful.